Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like the weight of the world is on your shoulders? Like the struggles you face are too heavy to bear? Imagine having someone who not only walks beside you through every storm, but carries you when you feel too weak to go on. That's the power of a woman who puts God first in her life. She never walks alone. Today, I want to speak to the women here, to the mothers, daughters, sisters, and friends. You are more powerful than you think. And when you put God at the center of your life, that power becomes unstoppable. The world tells you to rely on your strength alone, to carry every burden yourself. But the truth is, you don't have to. You were never meant to. A woman who puts God first lives differently. She knows that her identity doesn't come from the labels society gives her. It's not about being perfect, being everything to everyone, or checking all the boxes. Her worth is defined by a higher purpose, a divine calling. She knows she's fearfully and wonderfully made, and that knowledge becomes her foundation. She faces challenges, yes. Life isn't without struggles, but her faith gives her a strength that's unshakable. When the storms of life come, and they will come, she doesn't crumble. Instead, she stands firm, rooted in the promises of a God who will never leave her nor forsake her. That's the kind of strength that doesn't come from sheer willpower. It comes from surrendering to something greater than yourself. Think about it. How many times have you tried to solve every problem, carry every burden, and hold it all together, only to feel like you're unraveling inside? But a woman who puts God first knows she doesn't have to fight every battle alone. She prays, she listens, she trusts. And in doing so, she finds peace even in chaos. This is not about religion, it's about relationship. It's about knowing that you are loved unconditionally by a creator who sees you, knows you, and cares for you deeply. It's about realizing that when you align your heart with God, you're tapping into a source of wisdom, guidance, and love that never runs dry. Such a woman is a light in the darkness. She inspires others, not because her life is perfect, but because her faith is evident. She speaks words of kindness and encouragement, knowing that every word she utters has the power to uplift and heal. She leads with humility and compassion, making a difference in her home, her community, and beyond. And when she falls, and yes, even the strongest women stumble, she gets back up. Why? Because she knows she's not walking this journey alone. God is there, extending his hand, reminding her that his grace is sufficient and his power is made perfect in her weakness. To every woman listening today, you are capable of incredible things, but you don't have to do it all on your own. When you put God first, you're never alone. You have a constant companion, a faithful friend, and a source of strength that will never fail you. So I challenge you today, start your mornings with prayer. Seek God's guidance before making decisions. Trust him with your dreams, your fears, and your struggles. When you do this, you'll discover a life of purpose, peace, and power that the world can't take away. Ladies and gentlemen, let me leave you with this thought. A woman who walks with God doesn't just survive, she thrives. She becomes a beacon of hope, a pillar of strength, and a testament to the power of faith. If you want to see the kind of transformation that changes not just your life, but the lives of those around you, put God first. And remember, when you do, you will never walk alone. Faith-driven strength is one of the most extraordinary qualities a woman can possess. It's not the kind of strength that relies solely on physical ability, sheer willpower, or external circumstances. Instead, it's a deep and unshakable resilience that comes from within, a strength rooted in faith and fortified by an unwavering trust in God. A woman who puts God first knows that her strength doesn't come from her alone. It's a divine partnership that sustains her in every season of life. Imagine a tree planted by streams of water, its roots running deep, unbothered by drought or storms. That's the picture of faith-driven strength. It's not that challenges don't come, but rather that this woman remains grounded and secure, knowing her source of life and power is eternal. When she encounters difficulty, she doesn't crumble under pressure. Instead, she draws upon the promises of God, knowing he will provide her with the courage, wisdom, and endurance to persevere. This kind of strength starts with surrender. Society often tells women they need to do it all, have it all, and be it all. The weight of expectations can be overwhelming, leading to burnout, stress, and self-doubt. But a woman who puts God first understands that true strength isn't about carrying every burden alone. It's about surrendering those burdens to God and trusting him to carry what she cannot. Faith-driven strength allows her to embrace vulnerability, knowing that in her weakness, God's power is made perfect. With faith as her foundation, she becomes unshakable. When life throws unexpected storms her way, whether it's loss, disappointment, or uncertainty, she doesn't waver. She prays instead of panicking, listens instead of lashing out, and trusts instead of trembling. Her faith reminds her that she's not in control, but she's held by the one who is. That confidence doesn't just give her peace, it fuels her determination to move forward, no matter how tough the road may seem. Faith-driven strength also transforms how she sees herself and her purpose. She's no longer defined by society's standards or limited by her circumstances. She knows she is fearfully and wonderfully made, chosen and loved by God. This understanding empowers her to live with boldness and authenticity. She doesn't shy away from challenges because she knows her strength isn't her own, it's God's strength working through her. This strength shines most brightly in her relationships and actions. A woman who puts God first becomes a source of encouragement and inspiration for those around her. Her faith isn't just something she talks about, it's evident in how she lives. She extends kindness and compassion even when it's difficult. She forgives even when it feels undeserved. She serves others not for recognition, but because she's motivated by love and guided by her faith. Her strength is also a beacon of hope. People notice the calm confidence she carries, the way she navigates life's uncertainties with grace and perseverance. Her example becomes a testimony to the power of faith. Others begin to see that faith-driven strength isn't just reserved for extraordinary women. It's available to anyone who chooses to trust in God. Above all, faith-driven strength gives her the assurance that she never walks alone. She knows that God is always with her, guiding her steps, comforting her in pain, and rejoicing with her in triumphs. This companionship isn't just comforting, it's empowering. It reminds her that no matter how difficult the journey, she has a source of strength that will never run out. Faith-driven strength is transformative. It allows a woman to rise above her fears, overcome obstacles, and live a life of purpose and peace. It's a strength that grows as her faith deepens, enabling her to face every challenge with courage and confidence. A woman who puts God first is never without this strength, and because of that, she is never truly alone. A woman who puts God first lives with a sense of divine purpose that shapes every aspect of her life. Her purpose is not defined by external achievements, societal expectations, or fleeting circumstances. Instead, her purpose comes from a deeper, spiritual calling, a divine mission that she knows has been set before her by the Creator. This knowledge transforms her daily life, guiding her decisions, actions, and relationships. When a woman anchors herself in the purpose God has ordained for her, she moves through life with clarity and direction, understanding that she is here for something greater than herself. The world often presents a confusing array of paths and possibilities. Many women face pressure to conform to certain roles or to meet society's ideals of success and happiness. But a woman who prioritizes her relationship with God does not feel compelled to chase after these transient markers of success. She knows that her true worth and fulfillment are not found in what the world deems important. Instead, her identity is grounded in her Creator, who calls her to live according to His divine plan. When she puts God first, she invites Him into every area of her life, her work, her family, her dreams, and even her struggles. This complete surrender allows her to see her life through a different lens. She no longer looks at each challenge or opportunity as merely a task to be conquered or a goal to achieve. She sees everything through the lens of divine purpose. Every moment is an opportunity to fulfill the calling God has placed on her heart. Whether it's raising children, building a career, caring for others, or pursuing her passions, every action she takes is in alignment with the greater mission that God has set before her. This sense of purpose also brings clarity during times of uncertainty. Life often throws curveballs, unexpected changes, loss, or feelings of doubt. But a woman who puts God first does not become paralyzed by these circumstances. She knows that God's plan is greater than anything she can comprehend. In the face of adversity, she trusts that the challenges she encounters are part of the larger picture, even if she cannot yet see how they fit in. This trust provides a peace that surpasses understanding, knowing that every step she takes is part of a divinely orchestrated path. Having a divine purpose means that every woman who puts God first walks with intention. Her actions are not aimless, her steps are purposeful, guided by God's hand. Each decision is made with prayer, seeking God's will above all else. She moves with the confidence that every choice is not just for her own benefit, but to fulfill a higher calling that impacts the world around her. She understands that her purpose is not just for personal growth, but to serve others, reflect God's love, and bring light to dark places. A woman who lives with divine purpose is also deeply connected to the idea of legacy. She knows that her life is a seed planted for future generations. She isn't just living for the present moment, she's thinking about the impact she will leave behind. Whether she's teaching her children about faith, mentoring others, or living out her beliefs in her community, she is building a foundation that will continue to bear fruit long after she's gone. This sense of legacy gives her the courage to live boldly, speak truth, and remain faithful to her mission, even when the path is difficult or unclear. This divine purpose also brings an incredible sense of fulfillment. The pursuit of material success and worldly recognition can often feel hollow or unsatisfying, but when a woman puts God first, she taps into a deeper well of contentment. Her satisfaction is not dependent on the opinions of others, the accumulation of wealth, or achieving milestones. Instead, it comes from knowing that she is fulfilling the specific role God created for her. She lives with a joy that doesn't rely on circumstances because her identity is secure in her Creator. When a woman knows her divine purpose, she exudes confidence that is not rooted in self-will but in divine calling. She walks with strength and assurance, knowing that every step she takes is a step closer to fulfilling the purpose God has for her life. And even in moments of doubt or challenge, she remains steadfast, trusting that she is never walking alone. With God first in her life, she moves with purpose, knowing she is part of a greater story, one that is filled with meaning, impact, and eternal significance. A woman who puts God first understands that her true identity is found not in the opinions of others or in the world's standards of success, but in her relationship with God. This deep understanding of her worth gives her an unshakable sense of confidence and peace, one that doesn't depend on external circumstances but is rooted in the divine truth that she is fearfully and wonderfully made. A woman who anchors her identity in God's love and purpose finds a strength that no trial or challenge can take away. She becomes steadfast, knowing that her value is eternal and unchanging regardless of what happens around her. Society often tries to shape a woman's identity, pressuring her to conform to certain ideals of beauty, success, and worth. These standards can leave women feeling inadequate or insecure, constantly measuring themselves against impossible expectations. But a woman who prioritizes God first is not swayed by these fleeting trends. She knows that her value comes from something far more profound and unchanging, her Creator. God's word declares that she is made in His image with inherent dignity and purpose. This truth becomes her foundation, and with it she steps into the world with a renewed sense of identity that doesn't need validation from anyone else. When a woman puts God first, she no longer defines herself by her achievements or failures, her relationships or lack thereof, or the approval of others. Instead, she finds her confidence in knowing she is loved, chosen, and redeemed by God. This understanding shifts how she moves through life. She doesn't have to prove her worth, because she knows it has already been established by the Creator. She is a daughter of the Most High, a person of great value, and this truth empowers her to live with boldness and assurance. In this sense, confidence is not about self-reliance, but divine reliance. A woman who puts God first is confident, not because of her own abilities or accomplishments, but because she trusts in the greatness of the God who created her. She knows that His plans for her are good, even when the path seems unclear. This trust gives her the courage to face life's challenges, knowing that she doesn't have to rely on her own strength alone. God's strength is made perfect in her weakness. And this is where true confidence arises, when she surrenders to God's will and trusts that He will guide her steps. Confidence rooted in God also changes the way a woman interacts with others. It enables her to treat others with respect and kindness because she no longer feels the need to compare herself to them. She sees herself as equal in value to everyone she encounters, and this understanding breeds compassion and humility. She doesn't look to others for validation or to boost her own sense of self-worth, because she knows that her value is secure in God's love. This frees her to encourage and uplift others without competing or feeling threatened. Her confidence doesn't come from comparison, it comes from the assurance that she is enough, just as she is. A woman who puts God first also understands that her identity is not fixed by her past mistakes or failures. Life is full of moments where we fall short or make poor decisions, but those moments do not define her. Instead, her identity is grounded in God's grace and mercy. She knows that forgiveness is available to her, and through Christ, she has been made new. Her past no longer holds power over her because she is defined by God's love and redemption, not by her failures. This perspective allows her to move forward with hope and confidence, knowing that she is continually being shaped into the person God has called her to be. The peace that comes with this confidence also allows a woman who puts God first to face adversity with grace and poise. She doesn't panic when things go wrong, nor does she crumble under pressure. Instead, she leans into God's promises, trusting that He will carry her through every trial. She knows that even when she faces struggles or feels uncertain, she is never alone. Her identity, her worth, and her security are found in the unshakable love of God, and this truth provides a solid foundation to stand on. In every season of life, a woman who puts God first walks with the confidence of knowing that she is not alone and that her identity is firmly anchored in God's truth. She is free from the need for external validation and the pressure to meet worldly standards. Instead, she is empowered by the knowledge that she is a beloved daughter of the Creator, and in this truth, she finds all the confidence she needs to live a life of purpose, strength, and grace. A woman who puts God first understands the incredible power of prayer and its transformative impact on her life. Prayer becomes more than just a ritual or a set of words spoken in times of need. It is her direct line of communication with the Creator, the source of her strength, wisdom, and peace. Through prayer, she finds solace, guidance, and a sense of purpose. It is in these quiet, sacred moments that she is reminded that she is never truly alone, for God is always with her, listening to her heart's deepest desires and concerns. Prayer is not just about asking for help or seeking answers. It is about building a relationship with God. When a woman puts God first, she learns to speak to Him freely, sharing her joys, sorrows, fears, and triumphs. It is through prayer that she establishes a deep connection with God, allowing Him to shape her thoughts, actions, and emotions. This relationship becomes the foundation of her life, guiding her in every decision and giving her the wisdom to navigate the complexities of the world around her. The power of prayer lies in its ability to bring peace in the midst of chaos. Life can often feel overwhelming, filled with challenges and uncertainties. In these moments, a woman who puts God first turns to prayer as a way to release her anxieties and place her trust in the hands of God. It is through prayer that she is reminded of His promises that He will never leave her nor forsake her, that He has plans for her life that are good, and that He will guide her steps. In these moments of prayer, she experiences a deep sense of peace that transcends her circumstances, knowing that God is in control and that she is not walking this journey alone. Prayer also empowers a woman to align her will with God's. The world often encourages individuals to pursue their own desires, to chase after personal success, or to follow their own path without considering a higher purpose. But a woman who puts God first seeks to align her desires with God's will. Through prayer, she surrenders her plans to Him, asking for His guidance and trusting that His plan is far better than anything she could ever imagine. In doing so, she gains clarity and direction, understanding that her life has a greater purpose than just personal gain. Prayer helps her to discern God's voice, to know when to move forward and when to wait, and to find peace in the waiting. Through prayer, a woman also receives strength for the battle she faces. Whether it is the challenge of raising children, navigating a difficult relationship, or facing personal struggles, prayer becomes her source of spiritual strength. It is in these intimate moments with God that she is filled with courage to face each day, knowing that God's power is made perfect in her weakness. When she feels exhausted, overwhelmed, or uncertain, prayer renews her spirit and reminds her that she is not fighting alone. God is with her, and He equips her with the strength and resilience to endure. In addition to seeking guidance and strength, prayer also serves as a way for a woman who puts God first to express gratitude. It is through prayer that she gives thanks for the blessings in her life, acknowledging that everything she has comes from God's grace. Gratitude is a powerful force in shaping her perspective, helping her to focus on the positive rather than the negative. It reminds her to appreciate the small moments, the quiet victories, and the beauty that surrounds her, even in the midst of challenges. Prayer becomes an act of worship, a way of honoring God for His goodness and faithfulness in her life. Moreover, prayer provides a woman with the courage to face her fears and uncertainties. When life presents obstacles or when she feels unsure of the future, she can turn to God in prayer for reassurance. It is through prayer that she is reminded of God's faithfulness in the past, which gives her the confidence to trust Him with her future. Prayer allows her to release her fears and anxieties, knowing that God is sovereign and that His plans for her life are filled with hope and promise. When a woman puts God first and makes prayer a priority in her life, she experiences the incredible transformation that comes from having a relationship with the Creator. Prayer is not just a way to ask for things, it is a way to align her heart with God's, to seek His guidance, to receive His peace, and to draw closer to Him. Through prayer, she finds strength, purpose, and a profound sense of connection with the divine. And as she continues to seek God through prayer, she becomes increasingly aware that she never walks alone. God is always with her, guiding her, strengthening her, and walking beside her every step of the way.